Oh, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Is there anything you can't do? King of the platformers, lord of the arcade ports, undefeated champion in the world of role-playing games, and is apparently home to some not terrible movie adaptations. When you think of a Jurassic Park game on the SNES, what do you picture it to be like? A side-scroller, right? Makes sense. Jumping through the island, shooting raptors, flipping power switches. Pretty standard stuff. But the Mad Lads at Ocean had other ideas, and the Jurassic Park video game we got on the Super Nintendo instead was a top-down adventure game with first-person shooter elements involving puzzles that needed to be solved in maze-like structures. Yeah, welcome to Jurassic Park. The game throws you into the deep end with nothing but a cattle prod and a smashing hat. I guess you're supposed to be Grant, given the hat and the voices in your head.
Mr. Grant.
So if you play this game like I used to, your main objective is to zap these little dinos, and wander around aimlessly until you get jumped by a raptor. Haha, but we're smarter gamers now, and the real objective is not that much different. Come here, you little bastards. Get a load of the music, too. These beats are fucking fresh. Not the classic movie score we're all familiar with, is it? But who could forget John Williams' short stint into hip-hop? So where do you go, and what are you really supposed to be doing? Well, apparently these lampposts give information on your current objective when you interact with them. Not that that's much help. I was halfway through this game before realizing that was a thing. And the other half was obviously spent using walkthroughs. The farthest I ever got naturally was figuring out I need to restart the generator in order to get the computers working again. Oh yeah, when you go into buildings, the game turns into Doom. Just look at that HUD. What's the point of all this? Is Grant wearing like a Space Marine helmet? These indoor areas are just oversized mazes. Everything looks the same and the controls are clumsy and awkward. Most of the time I find myself getting stuck in corners. God damn it. Almost like first-person shooters weren't longed for the 16-bit era or something. Luckily the raptors and spitters are pretty docile. Oh, bless you. Bless you. This game is really obtuse and confusing, and not just because of the indoor labyrinths. The objectives and how you're supposed to know how to achieve them are beyond bullshit, hence my reliance on walkthroughs. Now I could go on a long and rambling blow-by-blow of each ridiculous and unintuitive objective and how you're supposed to progress the game, so I will. My first assumption was correct, and we have to go turn on the generators in the utility shed. But of course it can't be that simple, and you first have to get batteries for night vision goggles. Then you can go into the dark room and turn on the generators. If you try to go into the dark room areas without night vision batteries, you get jumped instantly and spit back out to the entrance of the building. Holy shit, a Triceratops! That's fucking terrifying! The first thing you hear is the thudding footsteps and then Shazam! Next thing you know, you've been forced down a narrow corridor with only one way out. Yeah, this game's intense and, at times, legitimately terrified me as a kid. I haven't even mentioned how the raptors just materialized from the jungle foliage with no warning. Shit gave me anxiety as a kid, especially their awkward movement patterns that make them almost impossible to hit without getting eaten alive in the process. Luckily, Hammond decided to leave around the island a hefty supply of fucking rocket launcher ammo. Man, he really did spare no expense. Then you have to go to another utility shed to get Nedry's ID card, then to the visitor center to use Nedry's card to reboot the park systems, but also you have to be sure to pick up Hammond's ID so you can go into another room with more night vision goggle batteries, allowing you to go into another dark area to get Alan Grant's ID card. Wait, Grant's ID card? But I thought I was Grant. Also, I don't think Grant ever worked for the park, so what does he need an ID for? Then it's off to the Raptor pen to get Ian Malcolm's ID and Muldoon's ID, and go through an elevator that takes you to the visitor center. Okay. Use Malcolm's card in the utility shed to get Gennaro's ID, use Gennaro's ID in a different utility shed to get Ray Arnold's ID. Basically, this game is Pokemon. Just instead of catching all the Pokemon, you have to catch all the identification cards. Then you have to go through the mountains and avoid being crushed by falling muffins to get into a ship, get another ID card, head back to the visitor center and do some computer bullshit that allows you to go into another area in the Raptor Pen that allows you to call another ship, I guess. Don't exactly know what that's all about since I was just in a ship. That's right, gaining access to certain areas of the park requires the computers to open the gates. It's a Unix system, I know this. But only certain computers have this access, so it's anyone's guess how you're supposed to know what computer in which rat maze is supposed to do what. This also goes for the computer you need to call the ship. Except, I can't call the ship.
You didn't say the magic word.
And the game is still telling me to secure the visitor center from raptors? Well, I went through the raptor pen and killed all of them. What the hell am I supposed to do? Push this random box? For context, throughout the entire game, the only things you can interact with during the first-person sections are doors and computers. And this one fucking box. Yeah, I went through all of the Raptor Pen, but all I had to do was push a box. Again, something the game doesn't even tell you could do. Even better, pushing this box is what's meant to stop the raptors from entering the visitor center. Through an elevator. I didn't even know raptors could use elevators. Clever girls. Right, let's see, what do I do next? Hold on, I need to check the walkthrough. Oh, it's Mr. DNA. Well, that's a pretty nice touch. And if you leave the game alone long enough, you get some dino facts from Mr. DNA. It's like the game knew that you're gonna have to look away from it to consult a fucking guide. Anyway, you eventually have to go to the raptor grounds to unleash nerve gas you get with Muldoon's ID on a raptor nest. Which is, of course, hidden behind an indoor labyrinth full of raptors and sharp corners. Why is the music so intense here? And why is the game telling me about a T-Rex? Oh, sweet buttery Jesus. Wait a second. I just have to hold still, right? Their vision's based on movement. I feel like I've been lied to. Turns out there's no fighting the T-Rex. You just have to avoid its area entirely. Well, that's lame. Biggest icon of the film, and it's just stuck in one tiny little area of the island, and you can't even do anything to it or with it. Just walk around it. I didn't even know the T-Rex was in this damn game until now because it's hidden near the end. After killing off the entirety of the raptor population on the island, for the most part, it's now just a matter of going back to the mother-humping ship and calling for a helicopter. Oh shit, I didn't even know there was a helipad in this game. Except, no, the helicopter won't pick me up until I collect all 18 eggs scattered randomly throughout the entire map. I just thought they were bonus things to get a high score or some shit. I was actually supposed to pick up each one? Every time. Every frickin' time. I think I got the game all figured out and it still manages to fuck with me. It's Jurassic Park. You run from dinosaurs, try not to get eaten, escape the island. The hell is all this key cards, egg collecting, nerve gassing raptors nests? I was content just zapping these little guys and getting spit at. Why did it all have to be made so contrived and confusing? You know what happened? They stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as possible, and before they even knew what they had, they patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a game cartridge, and now they're selling it. They're gonna sell it. God, who is responsible for all this madness?
It's cool to compartmentalize inside.
Newman. Well, that's that, I guess. I beat a game I played a bunch as a kid just to have fun, and I didn't have too much fun doing it. You know, this whole tangent of videos started by exploring actually good games based on great movies. But now I feel like just 2 videos in and we're already starting to slip back into mediocrity. And if we keep going, we're gonna end up in a rabbit hole of shit, and I don't want to be in that hole, so let's just stop the crazy train now before it gets to that point, and vow never to talk about movie-based games. Ever. Ooh, what's this?